Hello, fellow motorcycle riders and avid car enthusiasts. Today I'll be talking a little bit about the gearboxes in the motorcycles and how there was an evolution that came. So as we all know, like nowadays what we see is a neutral in between first to second, and we call it like a 1 down 5 up gearbox. But like how this evolution happened, this goes even before World War I, like where I have seen some Japanese bikes doing neutral 1 2 3 4 5, either all down or like the opposite direction 1 2 3 4 5. Like when I was growing up back in India, so this was the gear pattern most common in the motorcycles. I've also seen like some Royal Enfield motorcycles where the gear pattern was on the right side, and then it used to be like 1 down 4 up, or the vice versa, like 1 up 4 down. So the evolution has been happening. The Japanese bikes have used this gear pattern. Then the industry finally realized that the neutral in between 1 and 2 is much better. The reason for that is like this actually does not catches you by surprise. Let's say if you're riding in a valley, or like let's say you're coming to a stop, and if you do like if you're downshifting and you won't realize after a second you go to first or neutral. So this one, like let's say if you are coming to a halt and you see the traffic signal turn green, so you won't be out of power if you accidentally hit a neutral by just downshifting. So the industry has adopted this in the sequential gearbox. But what has been happening is, so we see like a 1 down, then a neutral, and then second to 6 up gear pattern in the street bikes, which is fantastic. But that does not work when we go on the track. So the track motorcycles have a different pattern, which is 1 up, then you hit a neutral, and then 2 to 6 down. Now how does this help? So we have clarified that the neutral in between the sequential 1 2 is much beneficial compared to like a old Japanese motorcycle with neutral first and then all the gears respectively. So like once this evolution happened on the track, we did realize that when somebody is cutting the corners, it's tough to actually do an upshift compared to a downshift, and that's because of the geometry of your lever, which is like, so this let's say is the foot peg, and this is just the side view, and then let's say this is somewhere gear lever, or the peg to switch your gears. Getting your foot down for an upshift during cornering is tough compared to if you just do it the other way around. Let's say we are still in cornering, this is our peg for downshifting. So like let's say you are cornering now, pressing your foot down while you are coming out of the corner, exiting is much better and much efficient. So a lot of OEMs do the 1 down 2 to 6 up, but then the aftermarket providers were doing 1 up 2 to 6 down on the motorcycles. The reason being, like, you can find so many options that we have. Like we have Light Tech, we have Gillies, we have Bonamici rear sets, which can reverse your gear shift pattern just to make it track ready motorcycle and make it more beneficial. But now, like even now, like I'll show you some pattern on my motorcycles where like the OEMs, or you can say the motorcycle manufacturers, have started giving you an option where you can reverse the gear shift pattern. So both are beneficial. At least like when we do a 1 down neutral and 2 to 6 up, we are not in the risk of getting caught by a surprise where like we are in neutral accidentally while downshifting coming to a stop. So we'll just focus on these and the products that we have and how you can benefit, like making your bike track ready or just street ready. So when we dive deep, like let's say if you look at the gearbox and the shaft from this MV Agusta right here. So if you wanna come closer. So what happens is like the gearbox shaft is actually connected to the gearbox directly. There's no external shaft coming out, because like if I go to the other MV Agusta, let's say, the shaft connected to this clutch lever right here, or the gear lever right here, and so right now we cannot switch, but like let's say if we want to reverse this, like there might be some mechanism that we can reverse this gear from 1 down 5 up to like 1 up 5 down. Let's not go that side because these bikes are mostly ridden on the street. But now let's go to the BMW. Why you need like a 1 up 5 down pattern. So if you look at it here, so there's a shaft coming from the gearbox right here to this gear lever. If you switch this to the front side, this will be a reverse gear pattern, which will be like 1 up 5 down. In the old BMWs this was not possible, because in the old BMWs the shaft was actually going at the back, and then the clutch or the gear lever was actually connected to this foot peg. So just to reverse it, you have to shorten the shaft coming outside, and then now this is like the 1 down 5 up, or like reverse 1 up 5 down pattern sequential. So it totally depends. If you guys want to do something similar, make your bike a track bike and ride like a pro, then we have like the light tech rear sets in stock. We have the Bonamicis. We also import the Geely's tooling rear sets. We are one of the biggest importers for Geely's now. So it's again like depends on a person to person. I personally prefer this configuration for riding on the track. On personal basis, when I started riding like 1 up 5 down on the street, I started liking that configuration as well. There are bikes that give you the option of like easily switching, like the new M1000RR. Like there are a few bikes that don't give you the option, so switching to the rear sets is the only option. And for any needs, we are here, 2to4wheels.com.